Well, I have an exciting new thing to share with you. It's called the Elegant Writer Pen. And it actually was designed for calligraphers, and it comes in many, many tips, which I didn't realize when I first got it. But now I know that what works best for me is just to have the fine tip, and then I just come in and do a little drawing, trying to show a little bit of the value changes as I'm moving along. So you can see I've actually created value here by this sort of back and forth movement. And one of the things I love about this pen is if I press hard, see, I can get a dark line. And if I go very light, I get a light line. And the other thing I love is you can create interesting lines by pressing hard, lifting, so you get a thick, thin, dark, light. And see, this is how I draw with a pencil. So when I found this pen, oh, I was so happy I could hardly stand it. So now the pen is replicating to me similar pencil lines. So let me show you how exciting it can really be. What this Elegant Writer pen can do is activate with water. When I was a little girl, my favorite thing was to get these little coloring books that you just wet them and the colors magically appeared. Well, evidently this feels close to that to me. So you can see I've got a little water here. I'm just going to shake off a little bit, and look at this. In just seconds, I can take and throw this down and create some of the interesting broken shapes that I'm looking for in a very quick, look at this. It just automatically breaks into these lovely washes. I can't believe it. So what I want to do is I want to create the energy that's in this courtyard, like you're peeking through the open door into what's going on into this courtyard. And look at just a few strokes and you've got the cast shadows. Just throw the paint and I've got what looks like foliage. This is my favorite part. You already know that. So I can just throw this water down, come in with the flat of the brush, activate the color. And of course I always like to link things to the edge of my paper. So that's going to be one of my first things, is to come in, activate these interesting darks you see up here. Link it to the edge of the paper. Maybe over here I'll leave it a little lighter. Now if you want, the colors when they bleed out into kind of a pinky and blue color. And if you tip it a little bit, you actually can get the bleed out colors to increase in intensity. I find I can get more pinks if I tip it like this. I know that distorts it when you're looking at it, but it really is nice if I can tip it. Now what I want to do here is I want to create the fact that this is in shadow here. So just with the stroke of my brush, notice how I shake it, touch it, and come in. It's wet, but it's not dripping wet. Again, I take the water, I'll lay this down. Take the water, touch it, and then I can just come in here, and I've got just enough water on my brush to create this nice little soft shadow. But when I want dark shadows, all I have to do is go in where I've gathered up a lot more of the pen, and you can see I can go to a very dark shadow in a very fast time. There's going to be some shadows on these pots, pot behind the pot in front of the pot, shadows behind the pot. And the thing that attracted me first of all to this is the fact that I love the light coming out of this. So I'm going to come in and capture this light. There's actually a step here. See, I haven't even been looking at my picture. I'm having so much fun. I just remembered there's a step there. This is the entrance to the Le Vieux Couvent in France. It's a lovely place that I go to every year. Absolutely love this place. Again, see, these are all in shadow, but I'm going to take some artistic liberty here. Almost like they're... I can't talk and do this. Almost like there's some light bouncing around here. Of course, the mortar is going to be dark. So look how quickly I can activate the mortar. Just with the tip of my round brush. This is about a number 8. And then I can come in, throw some water, soften a few edges, come in, create some darks behind the foliage here, coming down, create some more darks down here. You can see why I like this pen. It's absolutely my style. Just throw the paint and away you go. Throw the water, excuse me. Just throw the water and you get all these great values. Now I do need to pull this out to get that nice dark shadow here. Better get a little bit more dramatic here. And the shadow actually runs like this. Then it's got some interesting kind of stripes going here. See them there? And then this is pretty much all in shadow again. So let's wipe that out. Ooh, this is fun. So you can see just a few minutes and you have what's kind of a very spontaneous interpretation. I just let the water do most of the work. And then try to come in. Now this would actually all be in shadow back here. So I'm just going to come in and pretty much wipe this out too. Now there's always bounced light, so I don't want to... I'm going to make it just a little bit darker than what's happening in the courtyard there. So there you have it. This is the Spontaneous Writer pen, and you can see some of the pinks and some of the blues that just magically came out, and the whole thing was done with just water. Next, I'm going to show you how you can do this with color. One of the things I haven't told you yet is that once you activate with this pen, in other words, I just now activated all this wonderful ink, and once this dries, I can come in and paint this and the color does not reactivate. This is something I couldn't believe when I first experienced working with this pen. I thought, how come it doesn't keep reactivating? But the magic of it is, it doesn't. It actually allows me to paint with successive layers of water and color without reactivating. This is a painting I did on location in Umbria, Italy. And I activated the whole thing with the water. And then I thought, well, I wonder what would happen if I just came in and added color. And I added the color and was totally amazed that when you add color to this pen, it doesn't reactivate.